This is Around Town with Tanika, the Red Chair Edition.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Tanika with Tanika Donnell Realty, and on this edition of Around Town with Tanika on the Red Chair Edition, I am so honored, y'all. I am privileged to be here with a friend of mine, also a client, but she actually is Miss Irish Burch. She is the president and CEO of the Children Advocacy Center, the Dallas Children Advocacy Center in Dallas. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm excited because when I think of inspirational people in our community that are making a difference, your name resonates to me with that. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you actually got into your role?
Yes, of course. As you stated, I'm the president and CEO of the Dallas Children's Advocacy Center. I have been in this position for over a year now.
Okay.
However, I've been in the field of child advocacy and child abuse for about 27 years.
27
yes,
years.
27 years. My mom was a social worker.
Was she?
And my mom was a CPS investigator, and I saw that life for her.
So you grew up with this?
I grew up with it. However, she did not want that life for me. I actually lied to my mom when it was time to go to college and told her that I was majoring in something else because I did not want her to know that I was majoring in psychology and counseling.
Are you serious?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I told her I was going to major in communications.
And so when did she really find out?
Probably in my junior year when I told her exactly what I was doing. And so I started out my career because at the end of the day, what I believe and truly feel in my heart is every child should be safe in their home.
That's
and the
right.
reality is they're not.
Yeah.
And it's a part of the reason why our agency exists.
Wow, wow. So in your official role, what do you oversee?
I oversee our entire agency. We probably have 115 staff members, full-time staff members. We have a very unique model in the sense of we have our staff members that are housed at our location. However, the model of a children's advocacy center is built around collaboration. So you have to partner with different agencies and discipline in order to ensure that you're working that case effectively and giving the family what they need.
So give us an example of that.
So an example of that is at DCAC. So let me tell you what the center is and what we do, and then it'll all make sense. So we see the most severely abused children in Dallas County. So any child abuse allegation that comes into Dallas County that rises to the level of a criminal offense is going to come through our center. We also, in order to make sure that we're providing a collaborative approach to these investigations, we partner with Child Protective Services. So there's units of Child Protective Services investigators housed at our building, as well as the Dallas Police Department Child Abuse Division.
I see.
They are housed there, as well as we have 28 different law enforcement agencies. We also partner with Children's Health, and so we also partner with the DA's office. So in order for our model to really be successful, the idea is that we provide a collaborative approach in the investigation, the healing services, and the prosecution of these cases. You cannot work these cases alone. So to understand a CAC, you really need to understand how the model was before. So initially, before you had CACs, what would happen is a child would make an allegation of abuse. An investigator, a CPS investigator, would go out, maybe interview that child, interview them in their home. Law enforcement would be called. A patrol officer would interview that child. Once the case was assigned to a detective would interview that child. That child would go for a medical would interview that child. Case gets ready for prosecution, they would interview that child again.
That's like 5 or 6 different interviews.
Absolutely. And so what happened is once these cases got to court, defense attorneys would have a field day with the cases because it had very inconsistent stories, because whoever is asking the questions may ask questions differently from the last person, and you might get some different responses. So that's why you have the CAC model. So instead of all of these different people going out and interviewing this child over and over and over again, you have one collaborative approach, one team that is saying, okay, let's talk about what we need to do before we go out, and then let's all come together and ensure that the family comes to the center, and then we take care of everything from there.
That is amazing. So in your duties now as president and CEO, you're overseeing all aspects of that?
Yes, I am overseeing all aspects of that, and it is absolutely a joy. It is sometimes a lot, because when you think about the content, you have a heart for the children, but you also have a heart for the staff members that have to take care of the children. So it's really balancing out. How do you do what's best for clients as well as ensure that your staff members have the support that they need because it's a difficult subject matter.
So what would be your absolute favorite thing about working for DCAC, you think? I know it might be hard, but what is your top 5 favorite things maybe?
So initially I would have said, so I started out as a forensic interviewer.
Well, tell us what that really is.
So I started out as a forensic interviewer. So a forensic interviewer is the person that when that child comes in, they're the person that's going to interview the child while the investigating parties are watching the interview. So that, if you would have asked me several years ago, that probably would have been my answer. I started out as a forensic interviewer, and really, I will tell you, it is still one of the most humbling jobs that I've ever had. Because you have a child that comes in, their whole world has a lot of times been turned upside down.
Absolutely.
These children are not telling the stories because they want to get in trouble and because they want all these things to happen. They tell us what is going on because they want it to stop.
Of course.
So you share this information with the teacher, and then all of these different things start to happen, and children are thrown into this world. As a forensic interviewer, you meet that child for the very first time. You take that child into a room. This is not meeting over and over. It is first time meeting. You take that child into the room. You sit down. We follow through our process. And you are able to create a rapport with them that they literally wind up telling you something that they said that they probably would never tell another living soul. So it's so humbling for a child to be able to trust you in that manner and share that content with you. But it also is so rewarding because you know it is your responsibility. They are saying, I need you to help me with this burden. How do you not reach across the table and pick it up and carry it? Exactly. So as a forensic interviewer, that is what I loved most at that time in my career. I will say I transitioned from that into managing all of the different partners. So as a chief partner relations officer, my responsibility was to manage all of we have 32 different partner agencies in all, and that's probably about 450 different individual members.
Really?
The reality is that this model, when it works and it works well, like families are healed, and perpetrators are locked up, like nothing is better. So what I loved most about that job was being able to always keep everybody focused on why we were here. Today, as I sit in this seat, the most rewarding thing about this job is really the staff members. It really is truly. So I'm not the person that talks to the child.
No, not anymore.
I'm not the person that works with the detective, but I am the person that gets to provide the tools and the resources and the support. Exactly. Because when coming up as a forensic interviewer, I knew what it was like to work in the environment. So to now be in a position where I can truly make an impact on how you might feel when you show up for work every day, that's the greatest joy of all.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, can you tell viewers how we can support you? How can we support your efforts, the Advocacy Center's efforts? What can we do?
So there are many different ways. So one, I would like to really make sure everyone understands that we all have a responsibility in keeping children safe.
Are y'all listening to this?
We all have a responsibility. It is not just our responsibility to protect children. It is everyone's responsibility to protect children. And what people need to understand is this type of event thrives in secrecy. So sex abuse, physical abuse, because majority of the cases that we're going to see are going to be sexual abuse cases, and our most common client is going to be a 9-year-old female. We're also going to see severe physical abuse cases. These cases are able to go on because the perpetrator wants to keep it a secret. So what you can do as a community member is, one, be watchful, be aware, but also educate yourself. We have a number of resources through our website at dcac.org that you can go through and you can educate yourself. And I'll give you the link to where they can take our training for free. But for recognizing and reporting abuse, you want to make sure that you understand it. You want to make sure that you see those dynamics and that you feel empowered to take action. The only way we're going to be able to stop our perpetrators is by really banding together and deciding that we're going to give a voice to those children.
That don't have one.
Exactly. We're going to be a safe place for them. The other way way is because we are a local nonprofit, you can always donate.
Wonderful.
We can always take donations.
What kind of things can we donate?
You can donate monetary,
Okay.
you can donate money,
Okay.
as always, but you can also donate any types of things. So one of the things that we have there is we have a clothes closet. So a lot of times if a child has to go into care, we take all new donations, because sometimes, or a lot of the times, when children come in through our system or come through the CPS system, they've never received anything new.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that everything that they receive are new things. And so we take all types of donations in regards to hair products, from clothes
Anything
to
that you can really
diapers,
think of, 'cause you kinda don't
anything
even
that you
think
can
about
think
it.
of. And if you go to our website, we also have a listing of an Amazon wish list where you can list out things that we have there that you can also purchase for over time. Then you can volunteer your time.
How? What do you mean?
You can go to our website and you can volunteer your time, because we have a lot of organizations that will come out and support.
Okay.
We have a couple of things that I can mention. We have a back to school drive. So every year we have a back to school drive where we make backpacks for the children.
Okay.
And so that way it takes off the stress of the parents. Then we have Holiday of Hope. So at the end of the year during Christmas time, we want to make sure that we're providing our children that are come through our care, and not just the child that's for the initial allegation, but every single sibling in that household.
Really?
So if you think about the world right now, and you think about every single thing that we've been through in regards to the global pandemic, you have to know that you already have those stressors going on. We all have those stressors. So take all the stressors that we've experienced and then add a situation where you have a family that's in turmoil, where we've removed the main breadwinner from the home, and you have a situation where you have a mom that doesn't know how she's going to get school clothes for her children, how she's going to provide Christmas for her children, how she's going to do the things, that how she gets winter coats for her children. So we want to make sure that we're there, not only to ensure that we're filling the gap and ensuring that they're getting the therapy, that they're getting everything they need to prosecute the case, but we need to make sure that any of those caregivers, those non-offending caregivers, those family members, whatever you need in order to make it through the next day and to make it through this journey, we're going to be there to get you through that.
I think that's amazing. I had a chance to go visit your center, and one of the rooms that you took us in was kind of a storage area, and it was sectioned out by age group.
Yes.
Okay. And so TDR Cares this year is going to support you guys in the fourth quarter by giving donations, monetary, whatever you need for, I think it was the teens that really needed some love. I mean, you kind of don't think about it, but they need the same kind of things as the little kids, of course, have toys and stuff like that. But we were talking about all the things that maybe teenagers may need, the lipstick, you know, for the young ladies, or a game, or just things like that that they may need for, you know, to feel normalcy a little bit. So we're excited about partnering with you guys this year. And I would say to you, if you have an opportunity, support opportunities like this, because they are making a humongous difference in our community. So tell them again the website.
Our website is dcac.org. And so can I say one more thing?
Absolutely.
So we are one of 70 CACs in the state of Texas.
Really?
So what I would also tell you, as your viewers are probably all around, you also want to look for the Advocacy Center in your area to support.
Huge.
And so we all work together collaboratively. We're all doing the same exact work. So if you can't get to us in Dallas, there is the Alliance for Children Center in Fort Worth, Tarrant County, that you can also, they have the same exact opportunities that we have. So it really is about looking for a way to plug into the community and be able to give back.
Well, is there anything else you'd like for us to know before we go? Anything?
I'm just excited to be here. I love the work that you do. It's always an honor to be with you, but I will love any opportunity that anyone gives me to talk about DCAC. Everybody has a role. Every single child deserves to be safe in their home, and we can all work towards making sure that happens.
What would you say to someone that may observe something like this, but they're not sure how to handle it? What would you say?
So what I would say is, if you see something, you must say something. So it is not your responsibility to investigate. It's not your responsibility to figure out if something is happening. You literally need to call 911, or you call 1-800-252-5400, the child abuse hotline, to report it. But everyone needs to feel empowered and know that it is their responsibility to really do something to take care of our children.
Now, if someone had an interest in getting into this type of career, where would they start?
So there are a few places that you can start. If someone has a degree and they have an area of psychology or social work or something close to that nature, you can start by visiting our website because we have a number of positions. I will tell you that one of the most challenging positions to fill right now is a clinician, our therapist positions.
Really?
Absolutely. It is very difficult in the workforce right now for all actually CACs in the mental health community. So we are constantly looking for bilingual women of color in the therapy because our top demographic of clients we serve is Hispanic. The second largest group is African Americans.
Really?
And so we want our children to come in and see people that represent them. So
they can relate to.
Exactly. We have an amazing staff of clinicians right now, but we always are trying to fill those spots. So we have openings. You also have the forensic interview role. And so the thing about the forensic interview role is it's normally a position that you are trained specifically for forensic interviewing once you're in it. However, so someone in child development, someone with a background in wanting to work with children or in social service, it is a great opportunity for you. We get a lot of CPS workers to come into that role. So it's also a great opportunity. We also have what we call is a family advocate. That's the role that my daughter just went into at another CAC. But a family advocate is like a social worker, a case manager. Their role and responsibility is really to be the face that that family remembers. So that family's going to see a number of different people when they come into our system, but that family advocate is the person that is there for them to answer all of their questions. They sit with the parents while the children are in interviews. They are taking the parents through all of the different resources if they need help paying bills, if they need someone to go to court with them. That family advocate is like a case manager, and they also take care of them. At DCAC, we also have something that's unique to the many of the rest of the CACs. We host the largest child abuse conference in the world.
What?
The largest child abuse conference in the world. It is
in the world.
In the world. In the world.
Is that once a year?
It is, yes, every August in Texas, in the heat of Texas, downtown at the Sheraton Hotel. We are going on our 33rd year. Yes, our agency is 31 years old. Our conference is 33 years old. It started prior to the agency, but this is a conference that brings people around from the whole entire world in order to really learn about how to keep their community safe. So it's not just enough for us to make sure we're keeping Dallas County safe, but how do we equip everyone else in this field to be able to do the same in their community? So we have an education team, a national training education team. So anyone who is passionate about public speaking, that is passionate about going out and talking about the agency, educating people on how, again, they can understand how to recognize and report. That's exactly what our education team does. And then we have all of the typical administrative positions. So we have a number of different roles and responsibility that makes this all work
together. So do I have to have a degree to do those?
For many of the positions, for the clinician, yes, you have to have a higher degree. For the forensic interview position, you have to have a degree. Family advocate, not necessarily. It depends on what CAC you're working at. And for ours, that you don't necessarily have to have a degree if you have the experience. And then for the education team, you have to have a degree. Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
Thank you. We get a lot of people here that I think you're inspirational, and I think they will be inspired by you. Can you give us any advice for any young person trying to come up and trying to find their way? Can you leave them with just some advice that you'd give?
So let me think. I will say, be true to who you are. That's what I would say. This journey has been long. This journey has been hard. It's been rewarding, but it took a lot of work to get to where I'm at today. And it wasn't just myself. It wasn't just me working all by myself. It was literally the support of peers. It was really educating myself, but really truly being unique to who I am. Because at the end of the day, if you try to go into an environment and you try to conform to something that someone else wants you to be, you're not going to be successful in that way. So you got to be in an environment and in a place and in a work environment where you feel accepted, but you show up as who you are. Because if you show up as who you are, you're going to outshine everybody else because you're unique. That's what has ultimately gotten me to this spot. And prayer. Prayer.
Say it again.
And prayer.
I love it.
Prayer, prayer, prayer.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Y'all, I don't know. I feel like this has been the best Around Town with Tanika Red Chair edition. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Y'all support DC. Tell us again.
DCAC.org.
All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in today. And as always, have a blessed and amazing day. Thanks, y'all. See you next time.